the reason why there are such discussion about spiritual friend. Even in our ordinary life, when you look for a partner or someone you want to make a friend, friendship, to build a friendship and to have a friendship for a long, long time, you need to understand each other. Without knowing about each other, you cannot ask someone to be your friend or to get married with someone. Then at the end you may have more problems. And this is more serious. This is a spiritual friend, then you cannot change all the time, even like husband, between husband and wife, normally you take a commitment that once I get married, our marriage should last for whole life. But many times it doesn't work that way. In the middle way, somehow many times their family breaks up. So it's not that easy. And I mean, it is bad, it is sad, but it happens, and if both sides accept, I mean, sometimes you can't help it. Maybe sometimes it's better, yeah. But then, in spirituality, in spiritualism, once you make someone as your spiritual friend, it is for lifetime. So you have to choose someone that really that you know each other. Otherwise, probably you may get really bored. And even if you get bored, you can't choose new one. So it's very, very serious. Now, to understand more about this spiritual friend, there are 5 points that help us to understand better. First, the reason why we must have a spiritual friend. And second, the classification of the spiritual friend. Third, the primary characteristic of each group. There are 4 different kinds. And fourth, the method of meeting them, how we meet them, Fifth, finally, the benefits. Once you have a spiritual friend, what kind of benefits it brings. And without knowing all this reason, and if you just try to find a spiritual friend, maybe not be for permanent, maybe just for temporal. So we have to make sure that we understand why it is so important. Now, to begin with a reason, there are 3 different reasons why we have to meet them. Spiritual authority, necessity, simile. There are 3 reasons. I will explain one by one. So according to scriptural authority, one of the sutra known as Pranja Paramita Samkaya Gatha, a very long name, almost longer than my name. I find my name is so long, but this is longer than my name. Okay, what the sutra says is, why spiritual friend is very, very important. Why it is so important. It explains a bodhisattva or mahasattva, higher than bodhisattva, who wishes to attain unsurpassable enlightenment, must first approach a spiritual friend, and then meet spiritual friend, and finally honor your spiritual friend. Okay? And now the necessity, why it is so important. We all want to attain liberation, and to attain liberation we have to receive a proper instruction. And without a proper instruction, if you just try to look for a path, then you may get into wrong path, and it may bring more suffering rather than happiness. And also the reason why we need a spiritual friend, logically it makes sense. Logically it makes sense because we have to cultivate merit. Two kinds of merit. Merit is the source of temporal our happiness. Merit is the source of total realization, or so-called Buddhahood. That's one of the reasons why when Buddha Shakyamuni preaches about 6 paramitas, the first discussion was based on giving. Why? If we give, we cultivate merit. And merit is the source of temporal happiness. So one can say that wealth is source of temporal happiness. Yeah, wealth is source of temporal happiness, and there is a way to cultivate this merit. And the second reason is we have to abandon obscurations, and we have to know from a spiritual friend how to abandon or how to eradicate this obscuration. Otherwise, if these poisons remain inside us, we cannot be happy, and we cannot accept happy to be ever. Like for instance, if you sleep with, or if you sleep inside the cage, tiger cage, I don't think you will have a nice sleep, because you always, the fear will be always there. The tiger may eat me up, you know. So the fear will be always there. So what you need to do is either you remove the tiger from the cage, or you have to get out from the cage. Then you can sleep happily. Yeah, sleep happily. So we have to know how to eradicate this poison. Unless we eradicate this poison, such as anger, hatred, jealousy, and so forth, we cannot be happy. So from where we learn this instruction, how to eradicate this poison, that is from your spiritual friend. So that makes, spiritual friend is in fact one of the most important. Now finally, there are 3 examples given by Thakur Rinpoche. Why spiritual friend is very, very important. One as a guide, one as an escort, and one as a boatman. So